Hello, what's poppin' YouTube? This is JMU. Where in this university we transform thyself from old to new. Here we go. Very, very important topic we got today, and that is male desperation. So a lot of you have watched my last video, right? My last video, it was essentially a spreadsheet and all those dates and all that stuff I was able to go on. However, I would not have been able to do so had I have been in a state of desperation or whatnot. Believe it or not, a few years ago, I would be lucky to even get one match a week, right? Obviously, I changed some things like my photos and whatnot, but it's not even so much as that, but the state of how the dates went, as well as the state of mind I can have the woman in terms of how she perceives me and how she thinks about me as well, right? I can, you cannot command genuine desire from a woman if you seek or you reek with desperation, right? If you are someone who is desperate to have a woman's attention and whatnot, you will never be able to experience, things like this, where you can see the actual want and desire for them to want to be around you, for them to desire your touch and whatnot. Things like that, will be out of your reach for as long as you cling on to that sense of desperation that you have to get a girl to pay attention to you. You have to do things for her approval and whatnot. So, first off, how do we even know that you do have some desperation? Well, let's go over some things. Let's say you're on a date with a girl, right? If you're on a date with a girl, your mindset can tell a lot of things about how you perceive yourself and how you perceive that girl, right? So for example, if you think you are absolutely lucky to be around her, you feel that you are lucky to be within her presence, that's where we start to get into some simp territory and whatnot. The mindset of, I really hope she likes me, versus I'm on this date to see if I like you. That's a clear-cut sign, right? Your mindset of having to have her like you, having to get her approval, and having to have her not think that you're a weirdo and whatnot, all of that in turn puts her above you, right? And if you're putting on the pedestal, right, if you're looking up to her, guess what she's doing? She's looking down on you, right? And that is never a place you want to be as a man, right? So why, desperation can also come in more obvious forms, such as triple, quadruple texting a woman, this, that, and the third. Always checking your phone every 10, 20 minutes, just to see if she texted you or not. Let's say you're doing something, you're on the computer, pick that phone up, look, set it down, go back to it. 5 minutes later, pick that phone up, still no notification, and your head is like, what's she doing? Does she like me? I know she may have seen my message. Why is it taking her so long to respond? This, and the third, all of that, signs of desperation, my brothers. So, what is the problem with desperation? Oh, there's three major problems, actually. One, it messes up the dating landscape for the rest of the guys, meaning those that feel that they have no choice but to take a woman on a $450 steak dinner for a first date. You will hear me mention that a lot over the course of this channel, because doing something like that is ridiculous, and a lot of y'all MFers would actually do some stuff like that, which is crazy. Or not a lot, but some of y'all will. But for those that do stuff like that, the crazy, extravagant, like over-the-top kind of stuff for a first date, for a woman you don't even know, that sets a bad precedent, because now that woman is going to go out there in the world thinking that that's what she deserves at minimum, and she deserves nothing less. Desperation causes you to do some pretty dumb things. Simping is definitely one of those. It causes you to do way more for a woman that probably isn't really into you like that. A lot of y'all have to realize that y'all don't have to do all that, right? If she is into you, right, things are not hard. It's not difficult, right? It may not be the most obvious, but, if you feel like you have to do all that, right? If you feel the need to do that for her affection and whatnot, and let's say she hasn't been very affectionate, she hasn't been very receptive to you, that alone is a sign that you kind of just need to cut your losses and move on, right? So, but continuing to chase and continue to simp and pour your time, energy, and resources into a woman that has shown, that she could really care less, doesn't really do you a whole lot of favors. So desperation causes future entitlement for the ladies. It causes simping and whatnot, which is something you 100% don't want to do. And 3, it doesn't command respect, right? It actually invites disrespect, right? When you are somebody who is desperate to keep a girl around, you will do things that you will often compromise on a lot of things. You'll compromise on principles, you'll compromise on your values, and in turn you will also compromise on your sense of self-respect to keep a girl around. Trust me. I deleted these message receipts. I deleted this whole number, right? Because the whole situation got toxic. But I will describe the situation, right? So, just last week, I had ended a situation with a woman because she was getting stupid toxic, right? Somebody else had called. It was another girl, and she got in her feelings and she kicked me out of her place, right? Now, as I was driving to the place, she was texting me. She was giving me middle fingers and stuff like that, right? She called me and we were going back and forth, and she was getting real nasty, right? Getting real ugly with me. All these, all these crazy words and all that stuff. Now, she did admit before that she was a self-proclaimed narcissist, so I do need to put that out there for context. So she, apparently she's a textbook diagnosed narcissist as well. So this is somebody who doesn't apologize for anything, and she's even sent it to me in text form that she does not apologize, that she will not apologize for certain things that she has said, this, that, and the third. That was in my actual phone number, right? So after this conversation, when I noticed it was getting too toxic, and all this stuff, she was telling me like, I said some things, and she was like, why don't you come back and say it to my face? I'll slap the shit out of you, this, that, and the third. I hung up, blocked her, and all that stuff. I forgot to block her on Instagram though, right? So I do have some text receipts on that. So you will see the first message that was sent after I had hung up, right? And she's saying, crazy shit, right? I didn't respond, right? And a whole day after of not responding, she messaged me again and actually apologized, saying, I'm sorry, this, that, and the third. A lot of y'all, I know, would have caved well before that point, right? In the heat of the moment, in the heat of the arguments the day before, a lot of y'all would have just apologized to her. I have nothing to apologize for. What am I apologizing for? Like, I didn't do shit wrong. But a lot of y'all will apologize to the woman just to keep the peace. A lot of y'all will admit you're wrong even though you're not. A lot of y'all will admit fault where there is no fault just to make her happy. Just to make her happy. And all that's going to do is invite disrespect, right? If she won't take you seriously, she's not going to respect you. She's not going to have that genuine desire for you because, now in her mind, she sees you as somebody who will buckle under pressure, who will buckle under her. Now you buckle under. So the thing about a woman, right? Women operate off of respect, right? If a woman does not respect you, she does not love you. How affectionate and how much she desires you is going to be solely tied to how much she respects you, right? The more bullshit you put up with, the less she respects you. And the more you do it, the respect gets less and less and less. She'll start ignoring you more. She'll start leaving you on red a lot longer. She'll be, versus, getting back to your text within 5 to 10 minutes a lot. Now she's waiting 2 hours, 3 hours, and all that to text back. Yeah, y'all pay attention, right? Notice these trends, right? When you put up with her bullshit and you just apologize for the sake of keeping the peace, or she's doing some fuck shit, right? But you don't say anything. You don't call her out on it, right? Because you want to keep her, you don't want to lose her, and this, that, and the third. I said this in the last video. You have to be absolutely prepared to lose any girl you're talking to, including the ones you actually like, if it means sticking true to your values and your principles. It is too important that you stay true to your values, your principles, and your self-respect. Do not compromise on your self-respect to keep a girl, because if you compromise on your self-respect, she's going to see that, and she's going to see that as weakness, and she's not going to respect you, or she'll respect you less and less and less the more you continue to do it. She'll leave you, she'll cheat on you, whatever, if her respect for you is low enough. It is what it is, man. Like, I'm sorry to say, right? But, for example, there's another woman, right? To where she asked me for $30. She asked me for money. I met this woman one time. This is one of the women I went on a date with. Now, most of y'all would have caved, right? And it sounded like she was on her ass or out, right? Maybe she needed a ride. But in my mind, first, I'm thinking two things, right? One, I'm thinking, before she knew me, I guarantee she had other ways to figure it out, right? She figured it out before I came into the picture. So that leads to number two. You only met me one time. I don't know if I did something or whatnot, but something's wrong here, because I don't know what made you so comfortable to ask me for money. Somebody that you only met one time. If you're that comfortable enough with me to ask me for money, I don't know if you think that I'm a sucker, right? Like if I'm one of those simps or whatnot. I don't know if you think, that I'm like that or what, but I'm not one of them, right? I don't let people borrow money. I'm not just gonna sit here and just shell out money just because I have it, right? What precedent is that gonna set? And again, what does that say about your perception of me if you're that comfortable, if you feel confident enough to ask me for money and you think I would actually do it, right? Like, because you wouldn't ask me for money if you didn't think, if you weren't confident enough to think that I would actually do it, right? Your perception of me must be pretty damn low if you are that confident to ask me for money. So, with that being said, I didn't do any. I said I stopped letting people borrow money a long time ago, which is true. And all that. I did not cave, right? And, in her words, I left her hanging and that was a turnoff for her, right? Did that, was that the actual reason? Who the hell knows? But if that is the case, then okay, I really did like you, right? It's unfortunate, but hey, I gotta stick true to my shit. Again, I was prepared. I was prepared that day for her to just stop talking to me by responding the way I did. But I had to do it, right? Most of y'all, let's say if y'all have a policy against lending money to people, most of y'all would have caved to a woman like that. It's maybe not to any woman, but a woman you like. If you actually like this woman and you only saw her one time and you're actually feeling her, most of y'all would have probably have given her that money. Most of y'all would have caved and done it, right? And that would have set a bad precedent from then on, right? So that's enough about the desperation, right? How can we fix this? One, we improve ourselves, right? Because desperation comes from a lack of options, obviously. Because how can you be desperate if you got options? It doesn't make sense. So, you gotta improve yourselves again. Get in the gym, get that weight down, get your body somewhat tuned up, or at least not 350 pounds, whatnot. Dress better, right? Wardrobe. I will start getting more into the actual physical changes that you can make. I will start getting to that later, but I do need to get a bigger following first, because what's the point in putting videos out on the actual how-tos in terms of improvement if there's not enough eyes to watch them, right? So with your help, guys, hit that sub button, hit the like button. The more you hit the like button, the more my videos go up on the algorithm, and it gets shared throughout YouTube. So help me with that. That will be 100% appreciated. And when I start getting bigger and and all that, I already contacted a few podcasts that I would like to go on, but as they would say, I gotta actually have an established channel first. So challenge accepted, and only you guys can help me out with that. So anyway, self-improvement, dressing better, getting your body in shape, improving your thought process, because all the physical changes, you can do all the physical changes in the world, but if you still got the mindset of, oh man, I hope she likes me, it's not going to work out too well for you. So and this will lead to, when you improve yourself, right, and you start getting a better job, getting more money, maybe you actually have your own car, your own place, and all that stuff, your own wardrobe, and all that. When you got this independence to yourself, and you got your body in shape, right, you're naturally gonna start feeling good, right? You're gonna see the results around you in your life start to change, and with that, you notice that you will start to develop an abundance mindset, right? To where you are like me, to where on dating apps, you get to a point to where, if somebody is getting a little stale on you, you can just willy-nilly just choose to not talk to them because you could just see another girl or talk to another girl or whatnot, no big deal, right? Or you could be in a position where you set up 2 dates in one day, right? I set up 2 dates in one day, one for 4 o'clock and one for 8:30, right? And the 4:30 date just kind of fell through the cracks. I guess they just didn't respond or whatever, but I didn't care because I had another date lined up that same day, right? The 8:30 one did show up, right? So, and this was like 3 weeks ago, and it was one of my 2 off days. I'm like, you know what? They both are wanting to meet me on Sunday, so I was like, I'm gonna set one for 4 and one for 8:30 in case they both actually show up or whatnot. But I didn't care that one didn't show up because I had another one, and if she didn't show up, I had another date set up on Monday, which is like the next day. You know what I mean? So the abundance mindset really, really works, right? The abundance mindset makes it to where you're not in a position where you feel like you have to put out and overextend yourself, to the point to where you're doing dumb stuff, right? To where, now the woman sees that you're trying too hard, and now she doesn't have to try as hard with you. She doesn't have to earn your attention and your affection because you're showing by your actions that she doesn't need to earn it because she's already got it. So, yeah, guys, male desperation is a big, big problem in the dating landscape today. This has to change. I've showed you guys what it looks like, and the problems it can cause, and the things that you can do to remedy that. Again, self-improvement, getting an abundance mindset, right? Those are the 2 things that are going to get rid of desperation. Or in short terms, getting to a point where you actually can start having some options, and actually getting some game, right? If you, can be somebody who can sit there and be really good at sparking conversations anywhere you go and getting along with people and you know, you can get phone numbers pretty easily and whatnot. You know, stuff like that works too, right? You know, just getting good at talking with people, talking with women you're attracted to, and whatnot. All of that stuff works. So, that being said, guys, this video has run on long enough. I was really hoping it would be like 10 to 15 minutes, but this is pretty important stuff. So, you know, forgive me for the lengthy vid. Felt like I needed to do, you know, felt like everything I said was pretty important. So, that being said, guys, thank you for your patience. Again, hit that sub button and hit the like button so my videos can get pushed out on the algorithm and I can get more eyes on this channel and I can promote the growth and whatnot. So, with that being said, guys, JMU signing out.